Hello. Hello, hello. Let's see. I have a little mic. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Hi, everybody. We are live. So today I'm at a conference. So hopefully there's not going to be too much noise outside. But if there is, well, there's not much I can do. All right. So go ahead. Let's wait a couple of minutes. Hopefully I don't have to grab this all the time. We're gonna go ahead and start. So today's topic is gonna be really interesting actually. We're gonna be talking about marketing analytics, which is really the key for any kind of marketing campaign, right? Like at the end of the day, you're trying to get results. And the only way you can measure results is through analytics. So today's topic is gonna be very interesting. So let's see. Alrighty. Perfect. So let's go ahead and let's get started. Okay, how about now? Hopefully you can hear me better. I have Mariana, my admin, trying to see if the mic works better. Yes, better, all right. I'm gonna be with the mic right here. Because we brought this one right here that it has all these little fuzz, supposedly to get all the noise out. So alrighty, so let's change these so we can start sharing our screen. Okay. Okay, so hopefully you guys can hear me, and you should be able to see my other screen right there. I don't know why I cannot change the orientation. Orientation not available while live. Great. There you go. That's better. Okay. Alrighty, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. So first off, make sure that you connect with us on all things social, right? We're on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on X, which X Twitter, Instagram as well, or you can just look for me on LinkedIn, which is how you found out about this event. You can also look for our company at Boral Agency. All right. So a little bit about myself. I'm co-founder of Boral Agency, been in business for over 13 years, and I've been able to speak about marketing for over 15 years that I've been working on it, right? So we've been honored to receive some awards throughout my career for myself and also through the company, through my agency. I've been a speaker at many other conferences, and I'm excited to talk about marketing analytics today with you. So let's jump right in. And I know I have to give this presentation about me so you know who's talking here. Alrighty, analytics for marketing. So how do we turn data into decisions? So the first thing I'm gonna give you is kind of like an introduction of what's marketing analytics, right? Especially for those of us that are new into marketing, you know what to expect in marketing analytics. Then I'm gonna discuss my top 5 tools and techniques on marketing analytics, right? Because everything it really starts by setting up all the tracking, and also making sure that you're choosing the right tools. Then we're going to talk a lot about how to turn your data into decisions. And I'm going to stay on this topic for a little bit because really at the end of the day, that's the most important thing. So the first two bullet points will go really fast. And then I'm going to jump into the challenges and offer some solutions into the marketing analytics. All right. So let's jump right in. So first, the introduction to marketing analytics. So in marketing, as you know, marketing is trying to get your name out. It can be your brand awareness, it can be generating more leads for your customers. It really depends, but marketing in general is just getting your name out there. Now, the results, the outcome, it's going to depend a lot on the goals that you're trying to achieve, right? So, for example, if you're trying to increase reach because you have a new product or you're trying to test a new product or open a new company, then your goal is really going to be more in terms of brand awareness. And that's really what you're going to be looking at. But setting up tracking for brand awareness is one thing, right? So you set all the trackings and then you're getting all of these numbers. So what do you do with those numbers, right? What do you do with the data that you're collecting from the campaign that you're running? That's what marketing analytics does, right? So we analyze the information that we receive from the campaigns. And it doesn't necessarily has to be an ad campaign, right? Your campaign can be launching a new website and promoting it on social media, or it can even be something that is combined with offline and online, right? Like today I'm at this conference, your campaign can be, I created this QR code. Let's see how many people sign up for my newsletter or for my future event or my talk, right? That can be your tracking, right? But once you get that data, right? Once you get the name, the emails, the companies, what do you do with that information, right? What times did people sign up? What days were better? Like all of that information is what you want to be able to collect to make better decisions. So in the future, when you are creating a new campaign, you have that information so you can have more success, right? That's really what it is. All right. So that's, in summary, what marketing analytics is. So it's basically setting up the right tracking tools to collect the data, because of course that's number one, we need to collect the data for any kind of marketing campaign that you launch, and then analyze that data and do something with it going forward. And we're going to see what can we do with that data in turning data into decision section. All right, so let's first go into my favorite 5 tools for marketing analytics. Now, I work with all type of companies. We work with companies that are small business all the way to like mid-market companies and enterprise level. So a company that is really large, an enterprise company, can afford tools that are a little bit more expensive, right? Like, for example, Salesforce or Tableau for data analytics. However, not everybody has access for those tools. So today, what I decided to do is I decided to pick some of my top 5 tools that are more for companies in the small to mid section, right? So I will suggest a variation for a larger enterprise level. But number 1, of course, is Google Analytics, right? And I'm gonna zoom in. Let me see if I can zoom. Sure. All right. So number 1, Google Analytics. Google Analytics nowadays is not only just setting up the main link on your website and be done with it, right? On Google Analytics, you're able to set up different tracking and campaign goals, right? You can even set it up in a way where somebody visits your web page, you know when they're scrolling down, you know when they're clicking on which call to actions, which is going to help you later on know what call to action is working, which one is not working, which one is connecting better with your audience, and which one is really not giving you anything at all. It also allows you to set up tracking tools where you know where your traffic is coming. For example, if you have a post on LinkedIn, you can create a specific UTM tracking link where people, whenever they click there, we're going to be able to see that they're coming to your website from that specific link. This helps you, and especially for all marketers out there, this helps a lot when it comes to setting your return on investment, your ROI, right? So in marketing, a lot of times, especially when you're running a brand awareness campaign, it becomes really difficult to actually prove the return on investment, right? When it's lead generation, it's very easy, right? How many leads you get or how many products you were able to sell. But when it's something intangible, like, the reach, like how many people visited, like what do you know with that information, right? Okay, I got 300 visitors in the last hour. What do you do with that, right? This is where setting up your Google Analytics the right way can really help you prove your ROI, because you can say, yeah, in the last hour we got 300 visitors, and out of those 300 visitors, 200 went on this page and clicked on this call to action that we set up on this specific campaign, converting into this whatever, booking an appointment or downloading an ebook, collecting the email address, whatever that goal you decide to be. You can do all of that inside of Google Analytics, which is also a free tool. So at the end, you can probably spend just a couple, $1,000 or whatever, depending on the agency that you choose, to set it up correctly, right? But once it's set up, you don't really pay for the tool. You're paying for the knowledge of the person that's setting it up. All right, next we have SEMrush. SEMrush, if you've never used a tool for SEO and you don't really know where to start, SEMrush is extremely friendly, user-friendly, and it also helps you because you can get this information also from Google if you know how to use Google tools. However, not everybody is quite savvy using Google. So SEMrush can come very, very handy when you are running a search engine optimization campaign, which we know SEO is long term. So I highly recommend that you invest in a tool such as SEMrush. So here you're going to be able to pull reports, even put on a specific page and tell SEMrush, hey, I have this page, these are the top competitors, like where am I failing basically? And SEMrush is going to tell you all the changes that you need to do. It's also going to suggest keywords, and then depending on your target audience, on your campaign and what it is that you're trying to accomplish, then you choose the keywords that make sense to you, right? Because only running those reports doesn't mean that you need to copy paste exactly what it says. You need to use your knowledge as well to be able to implement the right strategies for you. A lot of times, especially when you have a keyword that is very competitive, you are it's better that you bet for less competitive keywords, but you have more where you're showing up more times. But not only that, but you have higher chances of a click-through rate, a higher click-through rate. When you choose those keywords can actually improve your ranking. So then when you choose the harder keywords or the more competitive one, you get better results. So all of those are things that you should expect from your SEO person, right? Like, and that can be, again, hiring an agency like ours, like Boral Agency, or wherever you are. You can also find or hire someone in-house. But your SEO person, they need to be able to create a specific strategy, not do just a copy paste, right? SEMrush is a tool that's going to help you with the information. But again, you get the information and you need to know what to do with that, right? And create a strategy to choose the right ones for you. Next, we have Hootsuite. Hootsuite for me is a love-hate relationship, to be honest. It is a little bit more on the pricier side in terms of choosing a social media scheduler. I feel like it's competitive, right? but it's becoming more and more pricier, especially if you're managing multiple accounts. But if it's only for your company, I think it's a great solution. Hootsuite allows you to see and manage multiple accounts. So allows you to also pull reports that are going to help you a lot in your social media game. So as you see, we're touching everything here, right? So we start with Google Analytics, which is Google Analytics is kind of like captures everything, right? You have your website, your social media, where the traffic is coming, email. If you have email campaigns, you can also set up a UTM tracking to know if they're coming from that email campaign. So you have everything on Google Analytics. Then SEMrush helps you specifically for your SEO. And now Hootsuite helps you a lot with your social media. Now here, you're going to be able to see what posts are performing best, which ones are causing the best engagement for your audience. And a lot of times I get my clients saying things like, oh, I have a business to business type of company. I don't need social media, or I don't need to have a strong presence, or, social media is not important. I don't generate results through social media. And I love to prove them wrong. Because a lot of times you ignore social media thinking that because you're not using it, nobody else is using it. But it's 2024, social media, it's not only here to stay, but it's like here to really dominate your online game, right? So Hootsuite is a really great tool. I highly recommend that you use that. And then in terms of visualizing your data, here is where you can use something. If you're enterprise level, you can use Tableau, or you can use like Adobe offers great tools as well. However, Google Data Studio offers you a free option as well that can allows you to really see your data live and be able to make quicker decisions, really, because at the end of the day, you can see all the data, but if all you see are numbers and you don't know how to do or what to do with that, is not organized properly, it's really hard to know what to do with that information. So with Google Data Studio, you are going to be able to organize your data and visualize it in a way that's going to help you make decisions faster. And last but not least, MailChimp. Okay, so MailChimp is, again, a tool that is very cost effective, kind of like Hootsuite, right? Now, in MailChimp, if you're an enterprise company, you're probably not going to be using MailChimp. You're going to be using something like either Salesforce, or you're using HubSpot, right? There's so many tools that are available, right? If I have to choose one that is cost effective and really helps you integrating with a lot of the tools that you can use, like your website, your email, your CRM, and all of that, MailChimp is one of those. I recommend MailChimp for a lot of our clients because it's very easy to use and pull the reports that we need to know exactly the emails that are being opened, who's opening that email, kind of like what's the rating of that person. So that way your sales team can pick up the phone and call them and follow up with them, because there are people that usually, if they're opening a lot of your emails and clicking a lot of those clicks, they're actually learning about your company. So they're probably interested in buying your services or your products. So MailChimp is a great tool for that. There are more robust out there, like I mentioned, Salesforce and HubSpot, that integrate better with the CRM, which is your customer relationship management software. And it helps your sales team follow up, because it allows you to actually rate everything automated. It's automated, so you're able to rate your leads or prospects, and that way your salespeople can receive the report faster, right? But if you cannot afford, HubSpot or Salesforce, because they can become very pricey, MailChimp is a great tool for that. You have to do it a little bit more manual, but you're still getting the same information. Alrighty, let me get some water. All right, so what do we do with all this information? How do we turn this data into actual decisions, right? So number one, the first thing that you need to look for is your customer behavior insights, right? Like, what is your customer doing? right? And this applies to your website, right? What pages are they visiting? What pages are they coming or entering your website? Is it the homepage all the time, or is it a service page? Or maybe it's a blog that's really performing, right? Like, for example, in our case, a lot of times we get a lot of traffic from people that are looking for different options of websites. Like, what's the right website for my company? We have a blog about that. So that's telling me that for me, usually my clients come to me because they're thinking about revamping their website, right? And they're thinking that just by revamping their website, they're going to have all their marketing issues fixed, right? So, but that's my foot on the door. That's how I start the conversation, because in my case, people are coming because, again, they think the website is going to fix everything, and that's what they're looking for online. And when they do that and they come to our site for that information, and they start learning that, hey, your website is just one little tool for your marketing, right? You have to be able to do more than just that. Then that's when we start having conversations, booking appointments with them, and we actually provide the best service or whatever it is that they need, right? So understanding their behavior, right? How are they buying? How are they researching? Right? How are they researching for your products and for your services? What kind of keywords are they using to find your services, to find your product? And there, remember, in the customer journey, you have the awareness stage. Like, what kind of questions are they asking themselves when they don't even know they have an issue, right? Like, that for me is when they're thinking about their website, right? They're thinking about, oh, I need a new website because, it's obsolete. Everybody else is getting a new one, right? But that's what they are thinking. They're thinking if they fix their website, they're going to start generating leads automatically. They forget about, oh, no, wait, you need an SEO campaign. You need to have a strong online presence. Your content needs to communicate, right? All of the other things. But I understand that when they are getting aware they're having an issue, that their marketing is not working, is when they start looking at their website. So think about that, and think about the type of questions and keywords that they're using, not only on the awareness stage, but also in their consideration stage or on the decision stage as well. Next, we have market trends and demand forecasting. Honestly, this is extremely important, especially in terms of when you're thinking about a product. Let me just zoom it in so you can see it. If you have a product that is seasonal, right? This allows you to see how soon in the market you need to start promoting your product or your service, right? This can also help you understand what new products you can launch, right? What's trending and what's not trending anymore, which sounds kind of obvious, right? But at the beginning, you are probably wondering, what kind of information do I need to set up, right? That's where your content strategy plays a key role to determine the market trends, right? Because based on the content that they're consuming, based on the content that they're putting out there, they're reading, right, that your competitors are putting out there, all of that information combined is going to allow you to determine what trend is coming, what trend is only a fad, something that's going to last for like a few weeks or so, or what's really here to stay, right? Knowing the market trends, like, for example, diversity is a huge trend right now, right? But it's a trend that's here to stay. So how can you adapt your company to be able to take on that trend that's going to affect not only your company, but your employees and the way the culture in your company works? That's also going to help you position your company in a better way. That's going to connect with a broader audience. Because right now, the audience is talking about diversity and inclusion, right? Like, for example, you have now coffee shops that are only hiring people with disabilities, right? Like that alone, it allows you to see that this trend is becoming so strong that now you have businesses that are solely focused on hiring people with disabilities, inclusion, and all of that, right? Okay. Hopefully it doesn't get very loud because there's more people around here having meetings too. All right. No. Next, we have strategic business decisions, right? Of course, like, if you are having all of this information coming from your marketing, look how important your marketing becomes now. Setting the right tracking tools. You're able to make a strategic business decision that's going to affect the entire company. So now it's not only a cute campaign or a cute ad that you're running online. No, this is helping your entire organization make a strategic decisions like what new markets can we open, right? What new industries can we target, right? Like what areas in our companies are really producing, are becoming more profitable, what's really connecting, what's really having a product fit within the company, right? So how do you make these decisions? Again, look at the interactions and the type of keywords that they are using. Search engine optimization is crucial for you to be able to analyze the data and make these type of decisions. Oops, there you go. All right, next we have product and service adaptation, which I kind of like touched a little bit on the previous one and 2 and 3. So basically, when you have your data and your information, what you want to do, you want to be able to detect if a product is still have, if there's still a product market fit, right? In tech companies, this is extremely important, especially in the early stages of your app. Getting a lot of beta testing, beta users during the beta stages is crucial to be able to actually know how you can adapt your app to ensure success when you make the big launch of your app. A lot of companies, a lot of tech startups actually, and I made a video about it, they fail because they don't invest in their marketing early on. And your marketing is not only when you have your product ready, right? Your marketing can help you make research and use that data to really adapt your app or your services or your products to make sure there's a product market fit. The same applies for people that are trying to launch a new product or people that are trying to really grow a new market, right? You need to really understand if there's a product market fit, and this applies, of course, for services as well, right? And last but not least, I put this one last because it was kind of like the obvious, right? The campaign performance analysis. Of course, if you're running a marketing campaign, you want to know which ads are performing better, which ones are not performing. Typically, an ad, there's 3 things that you need to look into, right? If you're not getting any clicks whatsoever on your ad and people are just scrolling down, you need to either, if they're just scrolling down and not even staying to read your ad, then your image is or video is really not connecting, right? It's not that impactful to make people stop and, okay, what is this about, right? Now, if people stop and they don't click on anything, that means that your content is not really connecting with your audience, or your call to action is not strong enough. So you need to make those changes. And lastly, if they're actually clicking, but they don't fill out the form, or they go into the landing page and then they don't just send you the information, then that means that your landing page is the one that needs to be changed and adapted, right? All right. I'm running out of time. All right. So those are the 5 things that you can use with the data. Now, what are some of the issues that you can run into, right? One of the biggest issues is the quality and the consistency of the data, right? Like, what I mean about this is, let's say you're running an email campaign, right? But every time you're sending your email to everybody, right? They open the email or they don't open the email. You just send the same thing to literally everyone. So the quality of that data is really not going to be, it's not going to be very useful because you're not able to really understand that the people that are actually clicking on your or opening your email and clicking, what are they clicking on, and kind of like what's that little funnel that they're following until you convert them into a buying customer. And the same goes for those that don't open the information. If you keep sending the same thing and you're not changing the subject line or not changing the little message preview or the content on the email, you don't know what's not working, if that makes sense, right? So there's no quality on your data. The next one of the another issues here. Oh, and by the way, the solution on the data quality and consistency is make sure that you're setting up the tracking in a way that you can personalize it as much as possible. and you are setting the tracking links or URLs, like each one of them is different, right? Don't put the same link on all the little call to actions within an email, for example. You need to, or on a website, like if it's a homepage, all the homepage like call to action have the same link. No, you need to have a link for the top, a link for the middle, a link for the call to action at the bottom. Each one of them have to have a different link so you can have quality on your data, right? The next one is integration of multiple data sources. That's why I wanted to touch on the tools before, because if you don't set up the right tools that are communicating and talking to each other, well, you're going to have a lot of broken links and a lot of broken data and missed information and lost information everywhere. And it's going to become crazy. So choose the right tools. The next one, the next challenge, honestly, is keeping up with all the technology changes, right? AI is disrupting, is shaking everything up, and is moving super quickly. So keeping up with that is one of the biggest challenges that I see in terms of collecting data, because a lot of people want to change softwares. I want to try one thing, I want to try another thing, and we go back to number one, right? There's no consistency, because if you keep changing your tools, if you keep changing the way you collect data, you're going to have issues later on, because you're not going to have any consistency, right? So make sure that you're setting everything up right from the beginning. Next, translating that data into actionable insights. This is where you need to make sure that you're hiring someone that knows what to do with the data, right? Because you can have all this information, all this data, but if you don't know, if you're not able to translate those numbers into actionable things, then they're just numbers on a spreadsheet. That's all it is. If you're not able to say, oh, look, this group is performing or is going this way, they're using this type of keywords, it's usually this type of customers, or this is the avatar with these qualities, right? You need to be able to have that information where your data is actually talking to you about a human being, which is the person outside there making that purchase, right? And last but not least, one of the other challenges that I believe I mentioned earlier too is proving your return on investment on your marketing activities, right? If you don't set up the right tracking, it's very hard to prove that there's a return on investment, right? Especially if you have a website, you have a social media campaign, and then you have your boss telling you, like, oh, I don't see anybody coming through the website, but suddenly your phone is ringing more than it used to be, right? So you need to be able to track all of that. By the way, you can also track the phone numbers, like how many people are calling that specific phone number as well. Alrighty, and there you have it. So make sure that you connect with us. Let me put this here. You can either scan this QR code and just find us on all the social media tools. Like I said, we're on Facebook, Instagram, X, LinkedIn, of course, where you found this event. And I know I went a little bit over the 30 minutes, but please make sure that you write in the comments, like what other questions you have. We can keep the conversation in the comments. I know I rushed through. I was very worried that there's going to be too much noise here at this conference, but I guess I got lucky. And yeah, just put it on the comments right there, and I hope to see you next time. We're going to try to have these events every other week. Twice a month. So make sure that you check on my LinkedIn profile to look at the next one, and I hope to see you then. Thank you for joining. Bye.